money, what do? But like you get something what do? 1 p.m.
See like this is what we do before I get the after. Because my friend found me here and my friend found me.
Everybody does that. No, I get it. Yeah, put that one in back. Name of the same bank.
If you talk to me, bottom line.
No, they go win one. You don't go start with them. That's perfect. Man will be middle person.
You don't put my name. I don't get that. Okay, you know when she asked, I don't get that. I was like, who are you? So now who are these people? I don't think I should have been in the UK where I was born. When you say I was at the top of the UK, where I come from. Later,
Boy, I was up from around past 5 to carry food.
She don't see anyone in the city.
Get somebody against me. Get somebody against me. 46 kilos, but you know, right? It was up. Because before we were, it was 3.
I mean, that's
after arrest. After arrest. 46 MB. I just said to look at Allah, since you want food to get speed now, I just said to me, I need to do all the software, I just asking me, mention any software. Guy, you pay me. And I went to think of 700 and something, and I went 3 years. Well, I'm not going to go. Allow me to go. Are you going to go? Steven just come.
okay, when I go up, I've been calling you and I used to say, you know, I'm on the back. Maybe that system would have been working. I never could now smart. That's how I call you.
Maybe sharp. Sweet. Sweet. I want to buy that. Because I was down for house. Lights, they bring my light around 6. See this kind of thing? I will just buy around big plate. Go out there, go make. Open system. That's all I finish one car. So because of all this, I don't need this so much. When do you have to like do it about mobile small?
Instagram, like, wow, you don't. After you
Sandy no break.
don't find your own.
Oh, she forget. Who's there? Dario.
Why they charge this stuff? Excuse sir. Why they charge them first? Before.
Turn the camera, press them.
Okay.
As we did like this, we are dancing.
No, they never go live. And they don't need stream on YouTube.
Kamal.
Yep. He did the video.
I don't use that one. I don't forget this one.
You know, that I left yesterday. Tonight. Red Mason and
No, these guys are supposed to produce, you make it fresh, you make it cheap.
the mentoring program is all about for the first time today. But as you move on to what we're doing, a mentoring scheme, the U of A mentoring scheme is actually designed to help our first year student, our 100 level students, navigate their path through their stay in the university, which means you are going to be paired up after this training with mentors who are already a crop of the university best of students that have been through screening, selected, and trained to be able to guide you through and provide structured guidance and necessary support that you will need to pass through your academic journey successfully. I'm sure by next year, by the next academic section, you too will become mentors as well, because we expect that the first, being the recipient of that kind of help and training, you will also be able to help our incoming 100 level student. We ideally, when you were coming, we work on the line. You would have had mentors welcoming you on campus, because for when we started this scheme, the whole world was a global pandemic, and we were doing quite a lot of things virtually. But I'm sure in the incoming academic section, you also welcoming first year students and showing them what it means to be here and how to help themselves through their studies. So this is where we are. I want to welcome every one of you. I want to tell you where you are. You are in chemistry, statistics, mathematics this way, and if you are in vet medicine engineering, you are in the center, and for medicine and physics, you can move on this way. Please stay by your department. It's very, very important. You may not know how much this scheme is going to help you. Please don't undermine it. And I want you to know that for 100 level students, this scheme is actually tailored for you. It is not optional. It's actually a compulsory scheme. For those who will not be here today, I'm sure in the incoming weeks you will know what the university decision about your absence from this training will actually be. Of course, the university will not consider it palatable to have spent its resources and time and energy putting this for you and you are not here. So there is no, today lectures were cancelled for you. For those who are traveling through the mini campuses, buses were provided to convey you and to take you back. So you have no excuse to be in your hostel and not being here. So this training is actually very, very important. And I'm sure as you go through the sections of the training, several people are going to be talking to you who are members of the Student Mentoring Scheme Board. These are people who are not earning salaries from the university, but have made up, they are very, very important men in the society. A lot of them were managers of very big companies like NNPC, IG, and a lot of them are CEO of very, very big companies. We also have a former ambassador of nations indeed amidst them. A lot of them are going to, they are collaborating with the university, and they are doing it out of their own commitment. They are not getting anything from their university, but they are giving back to the society to be able to help you work. So a lot of sacrifice is into helping you. So you don't have any excuse not to be here. As we move on the training, I also want you to know that we'll be passing on what we call a mentoring documentation form to you, which you need to complete. And if you have your passport with you, you need to affix your passport. If you don't have a passport with you today, you can visit the Center for CWES Student Mentoring and Employment. It's in seated building ground floor to affix your passport within the week. After this training, we are going to pass you through a general assembly where you'll be paired up with mentors who you begin your mentoring journey. So I want to welcome you once again on behalf of the Vice Chancellor and the Center and the Student Mentoring Scheme Board to this first edition. These faculties and departments that are selected, you are privileged to be the first partaker of the much hard work that has been laid on for over 1 year now. So I want to welcome you here, and I want to encourage you. Please stay to the end. If you leave here before the end of the meeting, you are as good as absent. It means you are absent. When we give you the form, you can't submit the form until towards the end of the program, and we will not collect the form. Towards the end of the program, we're going to give you tickets that actually give you tickets that you need to submit to us while you're submitting the form. This is very important, and I'm also going to report every stop here back to the Vice Chancellor, and a decision will be taken by the university management to you. A lot of sensitization information. Unfortunately, you have not had your Central University orientation, where you should have been told before this time what this is all about. But information were actually passed through your deans and your various head of departments, circulated on your university email and your different faculties and departmental platforms of what you have to do. Stay tuned and be attentive. Open your ear, explore the opportunities that is here before you today, and use that to actually make the best of your stay on campus. Not just the best of your stay on campus. A lot of the things you're going to learn today will go a long way to help you all through your life, all through the university and outside the university, in your workplace after graduation, in your various homes. A lot of you are going to be homemakers. You all have your various homes. A lot that you learn today will be needful to help you help your younger generation, help your children, your neighborhood and your community. So I want to welcome you once again, and I want to encourage you to make the most of this exciting and wonderful opportunity to make the best out of yourself. Don't laugh it off, because you may be lacking out a very, very important aspect of your life. So please, and don't make noise. I want to encourage you. The degree that we're going to award you at the end of 4, 5, or 6 years is worthy of character and learning. Please, I don't want to have your earphones. Let your phones be in silence. I don't want to have phones while they are talking. You have your phones in your hands. The only people permitted to have all of that are the technical people who are actually coordinating the technical section. Stay tuned with us, and as we move on to the first speaker delivering his training to you this morning, you have several other speakers that are already on their way to arrive, and you're going to, I know that it's going to be very beneficial to you, and I want to encourage you to stay tuned. And please, don't get distracted by your phones. You are playing, people are talking to you, and you have your phone in your ear, and it's like, what the heck do they have to say? You won't know how much this will help you, but I'm sure at the end of this training today, all of you will be able to say, thank you for making us understand this. I'm sure as the speaker comes in, he's going to briefly tell you more about mentoring, and a few more introducing you to what the mentoring scheme is all about, while he starts to tell you his own aspect of what you need to train you about today. So I want to actually say welcome again, and then please stay tuned, keep quiet, make the most of this CD, and quickly I will introduce some of our speakers that are here already. I want to introduce a member of the student mentoring scheme of Dr. Isokari Francis Ololo. He's going to be Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation and the CEO, Firstman Nigeria Limited. So we want to welcome you. With teaching, with research and community service, you benefit from his wealth of experience. We also have Dr. Ekele Jeremiah with you.
Good morning, everybody. Is that enough vocal projection? So you can hear me wherever you are? Okay. This is part of strategy. You don't allow things to hold you back. So you do everything you can to move with time. And as you can see, we are behind time. So we have to redeem our time. We have several other projects today. Professor Kupolati, who should have taken the first program, is on his way. And he's going for another program, and I'm also to join him in that program. So please join me as we cruise. Yeah, so the way to start now is I'm going to say a word, and you are going to respond with smile. Okay? So, great proteges.
We smile.
Sorry, if you don't know what that means, is that okay? But he's going to explain. So when they say great, the U of Abraham name for you is protege. While your mentors are paragon. Is that okay? So just move on with him. He will tell you what he smile. So when they give you that greeting, you reply with smile. He will tell you what the smile is. Is that okay? So now you can move on.
Great proteges. We smile. Great proteges. We smile. Great proteges. I need energy from you so that I can also give you energy. And when the two energies meet, we are going to have something in form of, how do you put it? Something in form of what? No, I need a word. Something in form of what? Tornado. Okay. So now, my contract with you, just listen to my contract with you. At the end of this section, proteges or mentees will be able to connect. Wow, I hope this is. I think just give me 1 second. I was also to do for mentors, so it was like the slide I opened. Let me see. Connecting my mentors. Okay, here we are. So, what you are going to learn is just this. You are going to connect with the mentoring chain. Yeah? Mentoring chain, I will explain that when I get there. You are going to connect with the paragons. The paragons are the mentors. But we now have a name for them in this university. We want to be different. So we don't just want to use mentors and mentees. You are special people. So we have coined names for you. Those of you who are to receive from the mentors, you are called proteges, and the mentors themselves are called paragons. So you will connect with them. At the end of this session, you'll be able to demonstrate understanding of paragon and protege's role. Their roles will be explained to you because you are going to meet with the paragons. You'll be able to explain the 7 pillars. So when we say we smile, if you count the number of characters in we smile, how many are you going to get? How many characters are you going to get? 7. So these 7, we see them as pillars, and we are going to explain that. These pillars are the goals every one of you is expected to meet. So if you do not understand these 7 pillars, then you have not started. The university has developed these 7 pillars in order for you to be able to connect with the system and become excellent in learning and in character. Then you will be able to connect with your paragon. You will know the duties of the paragons, and the paragons will also understand your role, which we had already imparted to them. So the mentors or the paragons understand where you are going to come from. So it is better for you to understand where you are going to meet them, what is expected of you and what is expected of them. This is a quote, to psych you up, to ginger you up. And it says, better than 1,000 days of diligent study. Okay? Better than 1,000 days of diligent study is 1 day with a great mentor. We cut something off, so that's why, it may not make meaning to you. Something that will lead you in life. But if you spend just 1 day with a great paragon, it is better because he is going to give you, or she is going to give you something that you will not have gotten in the 1,000 days. That's what Japanese proverb is trying to say. Now, I want to give you the story of a frog. You all know frog. Now see yourself in the habit of a frog. What we are going to learn from this will let you know that you don't need to do things all on your own. You need a guide. You need somebody to put you through. So the frog, the story goes this way. The frog was put in a pot, and the pot was put on a stove. The frog usually adapts to the hot water. So as the water is getting hot, the frog will be adapting to it. And you see the frog still remaining in a pot. The fire is on, the water will be heating up, and the frog will be adapting. To the heat of the pot until it got to a boiling point. So all you must do something different from the frog. Don't adapt, okay, until it is too late. So that is why you are having this session. We don't want you to remain here until it is too late. So you need to understand that as you have just come in, there are certain things you need to learn, certain things you need to do. People should be able to guide you so that you do not make the mistakes of your predecessors. Do you get that? Why do you have parents at home? You have parents in order for them to guide you. And if you are listening to your parents, most of the bad experiences you would have in life or you must have had in life would not have happened to you. Because somebody who had that bad experience had come to tell you, don't go this way. So what we're trying to do now is to mold you so that you will also be excellent in your character. Not just in learning, but also in character. So you have been told the story of the frog that jumped when it was too late. So the introduction. See, mentoring connects a young person. For what? For personal growth and development. This is for your personal growth and development. Your personal growth is in your hand. It's in nobody's hand. With the mentoring shape. Here you have the protege. In another pot you have the paragon. In another pot you have the university and the SMB. The roles of the SMB will be explained to you. You will be given a handbook that will spell out your roles. That handbook will also spell out the roles of the university, the roles of the paragons, so you can understand what this scheme is all about. Then you have the outer world. So can you mention the connecting hubs that I had mentioned, the 4 connecting hubs that I had mentioned? Can you remember them? 1, we are talking about who? The protege. 2, we are talking about who? The paragon. 3, we are talking about who? The university and the SMB. Student Mentoring Board, as the case may be. Then finally, we are talking about the outer world. So you need to look at this. You need to connect with your paragon. Your paragon will also connect you with the university and the SMB. And at the end of the day, what we want to do is to produce excellent people, those that have studied in the University of Abuja, to the outer world. So what you are doing today does not just end in the university. It will also take you out of this university. Connecting with the mentoring chain. Now, the role of a paragon is simple. Okay? The mentor, who is the paragon, the role is to provide guidance to you. So you should be expecting to be guided by the paragon. And you should expect to have support from the paragon. And that will now help your professional and personal skills development. You see, when the paragons and the proteges build a strong rapport, when you build a strong rapport, the paragon is inclined to provide the necessary tools. When you build that rapport, the paragon will support you because the paragon had been in this university for a longer time than yourself. The paragon came in and went through the 100 level year. So it is expected that the paragon had gotten experience which he or she would pass on to you. They will introduce the networks in the university to you. They will introduce even the outer world networks to you. They will create new professional connections for you. So now, the paragon and the protege's role. Listen to this very, very attentively. Now, as coach, the Paragons will provide constant feedback. You will be expecting constant feedbacks from the Paragon. They will share advice with you and give you insights into their specific areas, the university is involved in. Whatever you are going to find in this university, the Paragon should be able to help you through with them. Now, as devil's advocates, the Paragons will become they will be like the devil's advocate for you. Paragons will challenge you. They are going to challenge you, the proteges, okay? When it comes to making major decisions. That means playing the opposite side and providing new angles to a decision. They are going to provide support system for you. So they are going to be your cheerleaders. When you do well, they will say, yes, you have done well. And when you are going outside the box, they will also tell you, say you are going outside. You are doing something that is not proper. So you will expect that kind of correction from your Paragons. So they will celebrate you, and they will always provide words of assurance. They are going to play the roles of parents, to you, so that you do not make the mistakes that they made when they come into the university initially. Paragon and Proteges roles. Now, let us see again what the protege or the mentor should do and what you also will do. So that when you have a better understanding of this, you can create a dichotomy between what you do and between what the Paragon does. As resource providers, the Paragons are resource providers. When Paragons and Proteges, when you connect, the Paragon is inclined to provide the necessary tools, introduce personal network, and create new expert connections, which I had mentioned. I'm only trying to emphasize so you know you won't get lost as we move on. Now, for you as the proteges, he or she is the planner. Can you understand? You are the planner of the meeting, meaning that the doctor will not come to you. You, as the proteges, you have to go to your Paragon. You have to go to your mentors. And the SBM, the booklet they are going to give to you, will show you how the connections will show you what they are going to do with you. But as a patient, you have to initiate it. You have to meet the Paragon. And you are going to be the asker of the questions. You need to know what you want to get from the protege, from the Paragon. So you need to frame the question. You need to know what you want to know from them. Put them down. Ask all the questions. They are not to probe you. You are to ask all the questions. And the Paragons are expected to answer your questions. So expect that they are going to ask you open-ended questions. When they ask the question, they will enable you, it will enable you, the questions will enable you to begin to talk, begin to explain things. So you need to come out of your cocoons. You need to explain. You need to ask, when they ask the question, or you ask the question and they ask you to talk, you need to open up yourself and talk. There are questions that are closed, which will just mean yes or no. You don't need that. There are questions that will be probing. Questions that when they ask, it will be probing, so you can now talk. And there are questions that are reflective, questions that will make you to sit down and think and respond. So these things will happen between you and the Paragon. So, what are the goals Why are you going to meet with the paragons? This is very, very important. So sorry, the slides are not being shown. We do not have, do not know what is happening with yeah. So sorry about that. But now, what are we saying? The goals of this university, you need to note them down now. I'm sure they will find a way of giving you the slides so you can read and understand these things better. There are 7 pillars, like I had said when we started. So, proteges, great proteges, great proteges. So how do we smile? We want to know how we smile now. So, every character in We Smile depicts something. Depicts something that you are going to work with. These are your tools. When you understand We Smile, you will be able to interact, connect very well with your protagon, and you will be able to connect very well with the board, with the SMB. You'll be able to connect very well with the world. So this is what we are saying. The pillar 1, which is for W, W stands for work prospects. So you write down. We Smile. W stands for work prospects. That will be explained. We have the slides. You'll get them later. Then E stands for extracurricular activities. E stands for extracurricular activities. Pillar 3, S stands for social relations. Pillar 4, M stands for money management. M stands for money management. Pillar 5, I stands for integrity. This will be the focus. So can we repeat them once again, because this is the crux of the matter. Can you help me repeat them? Pillar 1, W stands for what? Pillar 2, E stands for what? Pillar 3, S stands for what? Pillar 4, M stands for what? Pillar 5, I stands for what? Pillar 6, L stands for what? And pillar 7, E stands for what? I would have loved to go through all this, but we are running for time. We started late, and I have to quickly round up this so that you have another facilitator who will take over from me. But Now you understand the 7 pillars. So I'm not going to explain them. Possibly when you get the slides, you will read them up and understand them better, so we can move faster and save your time as well. I would want to just show you a video. It's for 16 minutes, but we don't have that luxury of time. So even if it is fun, you to have a view of that, unfortunately, wow, we are so limited. The screen is not on, so you will not even be able to see. That's the problem. So I think we are limited. The internet server cannot even be found now. So possibly when the slides are given to you, you can use your own system to watch the video, so you can understand what we are saying, better. We are sorry for all the shortcomings today. That's let's just see. This is there any way we can hear it talk? Is there anything you can do? I don't think you can hear this from that end. You may not hear it. It may not vocally be projected in such a way that you can hear. But I think I will provide a link. The link is there. When they share the slides, you will get it. Please connect and learn more of what we're trying to do here. So we'll run. Let's just move on. Now, connecting with the paragon, the expectations. What are you going to expect from the paragons? And what will the paragons be expecting from you? So, first and foremost, they will want to know you, and you will also want to know them. So when you meet, the first thing that will happen is trying to know yourselves. You are going to know yourselves. There you will discuss your diverse backgrounds, your experiences. They will tell you about their own background. They will tell you about their own experiences, so that you will begin to connect with them. You will begin to build trust at that level. So that's the number one thing. You will discuss all that, trying to know yourself. Then there will be this matching of paragons and proteges. Like I said, the handbook will explain that the university is going to match you with your paragons. So the university may not just need you to go and choose somebody in 200 level, you become my paragon. No, there is a way that will be done. So the matching will be done by the university. So you need to understand that matching will be done. You will have your own paragon, and you are going to discuss freely with them, know them, and they will also know you. The handbook will also explain the structure. It will explain the support that will be available to you. For instance, if you are working with a particular a paragon and something happens and maybe both of you are never compatible, there is a procedure for you to get back so that you can get a new paragon. So the processes will be explained in that book. Then, setting goals. You have to set the goals. Now, what do you want from the relationship? Why are you here? The first pillar we talked about, work prospects, is talking about the prospects that you have here. I believe the SMB will tell you those things that they can help you so that you can do and be raising some little money. Now, again, when it comes to academic excellence, you will also learn how to set your goal. Why must you set your goal? Why are you here? Are you here just to make a mediocre result and leave? Are you here to make a top class and leave? Are you here to make a first class? If you are here to make a first class, from the first day, you need to set that goal. So these are the things that you will be discussing with the paragon. How do you attain this? How are you going to appropriate your time? You have 24 hours a day. You may be sleeping for, let's say, 6 or 8 hours. The remaining hours, how do you appropriate them to your studies, to your rest, and to every other thing? So you need to begin to discuss all that with the paragon. And that is called time management. So you'll be able to know how to manage your time with the paragon. Reliability and consistency, your drive to succeed. You see? So when you meet with your paragon, you will have to decide how you are going to succeed, the drive to succeed. The paragon will encourage you. The paragon will fire you up so that you will know it is not good for you to have like a daisical attitude. From day one, you have to start. Have that drive. That will be available to you through the paragon. Then, communication is very, very important. You have to open up. If you don't tell the doctor what is your problem, the doctor will not be able to give you medication that will help you. So trust is very, very important. You need to open up for them to know the areas that they could help you. Request for support. Where you need help, ask for help. But we are not saying you should have a paragon and start going to your paragon and asking for what to wear. They should give you something to wear, or they should give you food to eat. That is outside it. Do you understand? We want to let you know this up front. Having a paragon does not mean you have to pass on your responsibilities to the paragon to shoulder. Not so. This is something academic. So we are talking about academics. We are not talking about you going to ask your paragon things that are out of the ordinary. So ask for appropriate plan of action. You have to set up your time with your paragon. Decide on when you think it will be convenient for you. You are not going to take awkward times, maybe late in the night, and you say you are going to meet your paragon. No. There has to be boundaries. The SMB booklet will spell that out for you. Understand expectations. Like we had said earlier, you need to understand the paragon's expectation and also your expectation. What are you wanting? What do you want from the relationship? You need to establish that. It's very, very important. So maintain contact. You don't need to meet your paragon today and you never meet him until the end of the term. No. You need to set the time. You need to set when you are going to meet. And that will help you to keep your diary. So it's very, very important. try and keep that contact. The paragon is not supposed to look for you. You are supposed to look out for the paragon. Like I had said, the doctor is not supposed to look for the patient. So you look out for your paragon. Again, be very, very, very respectful. You know that even if you are, let's say, in age, if you are more than your paragon, that does not give you the latitude to insult the paragon or to say, look, I am older than you, so you should respect me. No. This is a relationship. So you need to respect your paragon. However, the paragon is you need to respect the paragon. Honesty is very, very important. Show honesty right from day one. If you are not honest, the paragon will not be able to help you, will not be able to open up. So you need to be honest. Honesty is very, very important and must be a principle that you need to adhere to. So if you have a differing opinion, respectfully put that differing opinion. Don't be disrespectful. So be honest with whatever information you provide. It is also expected of you to actively participate. The game is for you. So you need to actively participate. That will encourage the paragon to give his or her best to you. And if the paragon does not have an answer to your questions, the paragon will be able to reach out to the outer world to give you that response that is required. So you need to listen and you need to engage the paragon. Listening means a lot. It's not just using your ear alone. The body language of the paragon, if you are attentive, you'll be able to read some meanings. The way the paragon will speak, you'll be able to get some information. The way the paragon will display things will enable you to get some meaning. So when you are listening, you are attentive, okay? And you are very, very particular of what happenings that, may come around or that you may experience in that relationship. So everything you need to read in between the lines, and that's what we are saying. Read in between the lines. So listen for cues and clues, okay? Number 9, try and be innovative and creative. You see, when you listen, you can be creative. Somebody can say something, and you can get more meanings out of it, and that makes you creative. You will also be innovative. Somebody can show you something, and you will be able to build upon that thing and get something better than the original thing that was shown to you. So it is important that in your relationship with the paragon, you are innovative and you are also creative. And when that happens, you will always be smiling. Then you must have positive mindset. Don't close your mind when you are relating with the paragon. Open your mind so that you can understand what the person is saying, and the person will be able to see that openness and relate with you. But if you want to be crafty, your paragon will understand, because your paragon has also learnt about listening. The paragon will understand that and will hold back. So it will not be better for you to allow your paragon to hold back information because of your insensitivity. And finally, when all is done, please remember to say thank you. That is very, very important. No pain, no gain. So you are going to pass through some pain in order to get some gain. So remember that. So you need to sting the rod. Whatever is not appropriate, sting it so that you can become better. That is why we are saying no pain, no gain. Try and receive some pain so that you can receive some gain. Now, sting the rod, I'll just give you what it is all about. Like I have said, when you find yourself in a situation where things are not right, where you feel you need some improvement, just say to yourself, stay in the rock. And when you say that to yourself, what you're trying to do is to say you are deploying an approach that will take you from one level to the next level. And these traits will be explained in what I'm going to give to you now. You can write down the sting the rod so that you can use this mantra to help yourself to attain higher levels. Now, sting is spelled S-T-I-N-G. S-T-I-N-G. D, T-H-E, then rot, R-U-T. Now, sting simply means S for smile, service, T for talent, I for insight, N for niceness, G for godliness, T for temptation, H for honesty, E for exceptionality, R for righteousness, U for unity, and T for thinking. Yeah. UniAbuja connection with So can you help me repeat what I said earlier? The mantra that can help you to move from level to level. The quest for distinction does not end. It continues. So you need to, play your game. You need to play it up all the time. So what did I say? Which S is for what? T is for what? I is for what? N for what? G for what? T for what? H, E, R, U, T. If you adopt these traits and you are always going for higher levels, there is no way you will not be excellent in whatever you are doing. So when you meet with a situation that does not make you to be excellent, just say to yourself, sting the rod. And when you say that to yourself, what do? Take action so that you can move up to the next level. Unfortunately, we do not have time, so I cannot begin to explain all this. But please take that mantra. It's going to be very helpful. So the need for you to have a mentor, a paragon, the need for you to have elders to direct your path is very, very crucial and important. If you do not do that, you will not come out right. You will not be excellent in character, and you will not be excellent in learning. Most of us that are here and who are talking to you today, we have practiced what we are asking you now to do. So if you do what we are asking you to do, you will be like us, you will be better than us. So please take note. Now, I want to give you another story. We have just listened to the story of the frog, isn't it? That you should not jump out when it is too late. Now, this is another one out of personal experience. So if I give you this personal experience, I am sure you are not going to make that kind of mistake. You will not even attempt it. So you go to slide 34. So this is my own story, the story of my suicide attempt. Because I didn't have mentorship, because I didn't know what I was doing, I did not know the implication. Nobody had told me of it. That I know that if I do a certain thing, I can end my suffering. So I attempted suicide. When I was very young, before my sorry, I used this thing to get internet. So what happened? As little as I was put to suffering early. So I was helping my mother, going to the swamp, picking seafood, and coming home. I'll go retail before I go to school. Then when I come back from the primary school, I'll go to the swamp again and pick seafood, sell, before the family will eat. So at a point in time, I got tired. I got so sad, and I decided to take my life. Why must I be suffering like this? At this early age, my colleagues are all in school. I am in the swamp. I'll come home, go and retail, then I'll go and meet them. So I was tired of life at that age, and I decided to take my life. So one day I went with my mother to the swamp, and as we were, picking some periwinkle and all that, my mother went up, and I was just by the riverside. So that day I had decided to take my life. I went into the river, trying to see how I could drown myself and, just die and get away from this world. So I got there, got into the river. I tried everything I could. It was not coming. I couldn't, just die. I said, what's happening? I tried. Nothing happened. So I had to go up again. So I went up and saw my mother, who never knew what was even happening, what I had attempted, she never knew. But I think it is the work of God that I shouldn't die at that time, that I should be alive to do what I'm doing today. So that was why I didn't die. But if I had gotten a mentor at that time, a paragon at that time, somebody who was guiding me, somebody who was talking to me about life, I think I would not have even attempted that, because I would have known the implications before even doing that. The deeper implications. So what you are going to experience is something that will save you, something that will make you not to get drowned. Do you understand? It will help you to gain experience at the nick of time, at the appropriate time, so that you do not fall into the same temptation that your paragons, your mentors had passed through. So that is the beauty of this program. This program is to help you to become very excellent in learning and in character. So do not get drowned because of the challenges, because of the issues you are going to meet here. So I think we are going to end this program this way. My advice to you is that don't jump when it is too late. Again, don't allow yourself to get drowned because of hardship. So thank you very much whilst we await your questions. God bless you.
Another round of applause. I'm sure you are not regretting that you came here. You're already learning. Thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful imparting presentation. So without wasting time, we're going to have the next trainer, but we want to take questions from you. He just talked to you about connecting with your mentors. And he told you what the mentoring pillars are. Is that not? The 7 pillars of mentoring. This mentoring scheme is an integrated approach. You see, it covers your work prospects, your extracurricular activities, your social relations, your money management. That you are in school. How do you manage yourself with respect to your funding? And your integrity pillar, your learning and academic pillar, and of course your emotional intelligence. You are supposed to have one training on emotional intelligence today, emotional intelligence and anger management. Some of you, when you are angry here, it's like all of us should just run away. So don't go and display that kind of anger for your mentor, you know. So, but we may not have that aspect of that training today, but some other time, maybe when we are training other groups, when the speaker is not in the country at the moment, when he's around, with the subsequent trainings of other departments, we'll invite you, and we also put the material available so you can actually learn from it. So please, can we take your questions? Very snappy, one question. We have 2 departments here. 2 faculties, vet medicine, engineering. So one question from engineering, one from vet. We have the sciences here. So I'll take 2 questions from the sciences. We also have medicine and physics on the other side. So I'll take 2 questions from there. So if you have questions, let's take them. Somebody, you want to ask? Question. He told you about what to do, what you should expect from your mentor, how you relate with your mentor, and so on. Yes.
I want to understand if the paragons, if they, I want to know if they are like students or like the elderly ones.
Your paragons are students like you. They are student mentor. Are you hearing me? A lot of them are already involved in the university work scheme. A lot of them are student workers. They are students, but they are not just students. They are students, they are also staff. You know what it means? They are working as student workers, and these students are students, they've been screened, they've been selected. Is that okay? And passed through the training to provide your support. You know, if I ask one, Mr. Ade is here. If I ask Mr. Ade now to come and start mentoring you, when you go, you will be relating with Mr. Ade. If I say this one now, if I show Mr. Ade say at the best, where he can discipline you. But you know, the essence of the scheme is that they are students like you. Is that okay? But they are older students. They are students from 200 level and above, up to 400 level, 500 level. Some of them are in the College of Medicine and 600 level. So they are students who have gone through several levels, you know, before your level. So they have experience and they've been trained to be able to provide you guidance. And they are supported, not in themselves, they are also supported, as he told you, by members of the Student Mentoring Board and the Student Mentoring Scheme Implementation Committee, which is made up of deans, of your heads of department. They are also providing support to ensure that your relationship between your mentors and of course your paragon and protein, you the mentees, your relationship is actually moving on well. So they are coordinated, they are monitored, they are not just one, they will just take you for granted, and they are not just going to do anything the way they like. It's actually monitored. Is that okay? Do we have any other question? Any other question? Yes. Okay, this student is asking a question. He said, what are the processes to pass through in case there is any case of harassment or negligence on the side of the paragons? Yes, like the presenter, the facilitator actually told you that the student mentoring scheme, we have the SMS handbook. Very shortly we'll make that available to you. Is that okay? The SMS handbook tells you your roles, the role of the board, the role of the university, the role of your deans, the implementation committee, the role of you as a mentee, your role, the role of your mentors, your paragons. Is that okay? And that handbook also defines your limits. There are ground rules. Is that okay? It defines the limit of a mentor and the limit of mentees. And that handbook also provides you where you can get help. There is a dedicated help desk for the SMS scheme. So while you are relating with your paragons and there are issues, you report to the Center for CWES Student Mentoring and Employment. As we start in the next time when we're going to have a general assembly where you will meet with your mentors. Is that okay? So this time around, it won't just be you as the mentees alone. We have trained you, we have also trained them. Where you are going to have that. So before that general assembly or at that general assembly, we are going to make available, even in the SMS handbook, you see what sort of help, what you can do. There are rules, and of course, there are regulations. Nobody will take any case of harassment or negligence. There are even rules about when you should meet your mentors, your paragons. You can't tell me that because you are mentoring a mentee, you say, come and see me in my room at 11 p.m. We have rules. Are you hearing me? There are do's and don'ts. Is that okay? And all of that, at this training, we can't start telling you everything in the handbook. But as we are inducting you into the scheme, like your induction is actually starting today, and we are going to perfect it at a meeting where you will meet with your mentors. A lot of those rules and what you should know. And there are also what we call the log book of activities. You are going to be whatever activity, whatever you are going on with going through with your mentors are documented, are monitored by the center. And of course, the center reports to the board. So we are able to check any excesses. Is that okay? And take appropriate decision. And of course, discipline where necessary. Is that okay? So the scheme has provisions to take care of all that you are asking. Have I helped? Thank you. Any other question? Okay, thank you very much. Can you put up a very wonderful clap again for the participator? Dr. Odolo has done a very wonderful job. We are going to move on to the next presenter, and it's going to be taken by, it's a privilege, to the kind of people you have here, it's a privilege, I'm sure, but for the student mentoring scheme, in University of Abuja, you may never have met any one of them because they are not just anybody in the society. So I want to introduce Professor Mike Prince Ikupolati. He was the Nigerian former ambassador to the Gambia. He's a pioneer staff of the Gambia University. He has lectured in Ahmadu Bello University, National State University, Kefi, and he's the CEO of the Global Consult. Sir, you're welcome, sir. It might impress you to know that he's a prince, so
Thank you very much, Dr. Grace. I was looking around to look for the person they were introducing. I didn't know I was the one. All right, good morning. And I am going to be speaking to you on a very important aspect of mentoring, and that is civility in the academic environment. Civility. I don't know how many of us know the meaning of civility. Can anybody tell us? Does anybody know anything about civility? What is civility? I know you are agreeing, but I'm sure you must have heard of the word civility before. What does it mean? Anyone? Feel free. This is an academic environment. There's academic immunity. No one. So it's very new to everybody. You are seeing it for the first time. Huh? Civility. Yes? Eh? All right, very good. Give him a sounding round of applause. In the next few minutes, I am hoping that I will let you have a self-awareness. Who are you? And as a mentee, how will you relate with your mentor so as to keep your civility? Two, I will expect that you develop a sense of respect for others. Respect is reciprocal. When you respect others, they respect you. So I will create that sense of respect for others in the next few minutes that I will spend with you. Next is cultivating integrity, which I'm sure the first lecturer spoke about. And finally, how to ensure that there is a cordial relationship between you and your mentor, between you and your lecturers, between you and every other person within the academic environment. This is what civility is all about. But just in case you are not going to understand me in the next 20 minutes, let me tell you what happened when I was in secondary school. The school got us a lecturer, a mathematics lecturer. Fortunately, he was an Indian man. So all of us hey, you, Nyem Trans Nyem, you come to what? Huh? Nyem Trans Nyem, come to what? All of us were thinking, what's this man saying? So I was hiding my face, and unfortunately, he saw me behind. He said, All right. So civility is an aspect of our behavior which is important in building relationship between you and your mentors. I want to say this, that over the years, we have done a lot to ensure that students understand the subject of civility. There are 4 major aspects of civility. 1 is respect. The second one is courtesy. The third one is politeness. That's why I say clap for him when he mentioned politeness. And the fourth one is consideration, empathy. Consideration, empathy. So we call it RCPC. RCPC. Respect, courtesy, politeness, and consideration. So each time we mention civility, it means respect for others, having courtesy in dealing with others, polite in your way of life, and then consider others in all your actions. That is civility. And so civility has a lot of benefits. Number 1, you will be comfortable in coming to class and in attending school. You will not be running away from school if the environment is civil. 2, there will be increase in your academic performance because you will enjoy what you are doing. Civility enhances your knowledge. It gives you a conducive environment to listen attentively to your lecturer, a conducive environment for you to study and to be able to connect with your colleagues in terms of your mentor and also your classmates so that you can stay within the academic environment without fear. Number 3, it increases morale. Your morals will be increased when there is civility in the academic environment. Everybody's moral will be very high. There will be motivation in doing whatever you are set out to do. Also, there is satisfaction in your school. There will be academic satisfaction. There is also going to be academic success in terms of your learning and in terms of your character. And finally, you will be able to build reputation for the University of Abuja. When you are able to inculcate civility as part of your way of life, wherever you go, you will be an ambassador of the University of Abuja. These are a few of the advantages of civility. But where you have an academic environment where there is incivility, a lot of things also happen there. 1, there is high rate of academic failure. When there is incivility in the university, many students will not be able to concentrate on their study and they are likely going to be high rate of failure. Number 2, there will be low esteem, low morale, no motivation to learn because of incivility. And then the next is high in discipline. Any academic environment where there is no civility, there will be high in discipline among the students, and that will affect the academic environment. There's also poor productivity, stress and frustration in school and at home. In fact, sometimes when there is stress in the school, you carry it home and it becomes contagious, and then you will also become sad when you get home. Your relationship with others outside the school will be affected when there is incivility in the academic environment. Also, there will be a steady decline in the values and cultures of the university. A steady decline. These are some of the negative impact of incivility. And so it becomes, if you look at it, it becomes very important that even as we are setting up a student mentoring scheme that will promote your academic excellence and promote your character, one important ingredient is that there must be civility in the academic environment. In the University of Abuja, there must be civility. That includes the way you talk to yourself or you address yourself, the way the lecturer will talk to you. You must be able to know that it is important for you to consider others to make sure you don't hurt their sensibility. And because of the fact that every academic environment is made up of several people of different backgrounds, what we call diversity. There is diversity in the academic environment, and so if there is instability, in addition to diversity, there will be a lot of problems. So you don't hurt people's religion, you don't hurt people's politics, you don't hurt people's academic achievement, and so on and so forth. So civility is a key element of mentoring, because mentoring cannot be successful unless there is civility within that academic environment. And that's why we are discussing that with you today. So it is important to remember that there will be conflict. Conflict is not totally dysfunctional. That's what Peter has said. He says it's not totally dysfunctional. And we said why? He said because at the end of every tunnel, there is light. Which means that whenever there is conflict, and the conflict is successfully resolved, you get to understand yourself better. We are not pretending that you will not have conflict with your mentor. We are not pretending that there will be no time when both of you will not be able to relate. But we are believing that even you will be, if there is civility,